We're here at the dairy event to speak to as many farmers as we can about the national problem of bovine TB. Here we have Lyndon Edwards, Chairman of the Royal Association of British Dairy Farmers. So Lyndon, can you just explain what the situation has been on your farm and how difficult it's proved for you and your family?
Yes, well, 3 years ago we lost 46 cattle in 1 year, which is quite devastating for the farming business, not just for the loss of the actual animals, but actually trying to replace them. Because at home we're an organic herd and you can't find organic animals, so you end up then replacing them with conventional animals, sort of yearlings, and then you are waiting a year to actually be able to produce milk from those animals. So it's not just the loss of the cattle, it's actually the loss of the income as well.
And that, of course, isn't helped by the compensation system that pays on the basis of average values.
Well, that's certainly right, and where I am farming, I'm based at Chepstow, which is sort of right on the Welsh border. Unfortunately, I'm slightly the wrong side of the Welsh border by about a couple of hundred yards, and that's quite frustrating when you see farmers on the other side of the border being compensated properly for their animals, and what we're getting is a bit of a joke. Yeah.
And like many farmers, you believe there is a better policy that could be put in place than we have now in England. I mean, can you just first of all explain the frustration that farmers feel about the badger issue?
Yeah, I think that as you said, the badgers don't know national boundaries and diseases don't know national boundaries, and the movements across the border are happening all the time. So I think if the one thing that is really evident is that farmers in Wales are actually confident that at some point in the near future it will be tackled and they will have something done about it. So they have the confidence that their the Welsh office is representing their interest. That's simply not the case on the English side of the border, where farmers think it's going to carry on untouched, no one's taking any care about actually eradication of TB. They're talking control, which isn't really control, it's more like managed retreat from the disease.
So that was Lyndon Edwards, who farms in one of the country's biggest hotspot areas. But with me now I have Ed Dale, whose farm is in Cheshire. He's had a problem with TB, but he has been in a relatively clean area. So Ed, can you just explain a bit about your own situation with TB?
Yeah, I mean, basically we've been lucky enough not to have any major breakdowns with TB. We've had odd ones go, and we sort of expect that. Often they've been animals we've bought in. But just recently a neighbour of ours has lost half of his herd within sort of 6 or 8 weeks. Bang, half his herd's just gone, and it's just been a bit of a wake-up call to us that, hang on a minute, this isn't going away.
Previously you've not had a great problem in that area?
No, I mean you get odd places that go down, and you can't help but talk to the people who go. It's isolated areas, and it doesn't seem to be necessarily people that are moving a lot of cattle around. So where's it coming from? That's the question, isn't it? Sort of thing.
Okay. We're trying to get an idea of what farmers think the government could be doing better. Now, I mean, is your opinion that it's heavily weighted in one direction or the other, or do you think it's more than just cattle movements?
I'm sure the cattle movements is a huge part of it, and testing animals and making sure that's right for the problems that it causes is probably prudent. But you'd have to say it's not just badgers, the wildlife. It's deer and it's badgers. It's deer as well as the badgers. But I think all we want people to do is be realistic and not bury their heads in the sand, not pretend that there isn't a problem, and just address it in a calm way that actually just starts to chip away at the problem, instead of it seems as if we're not actually getting anywhere. I've just come back from Ireland, and they seem to take a far more proactive approach, where if a farm does have a TB breakdown, the government are involved in actually taking out some of the animals in the wildlife in a controlled way, not a mass massacre that means, none of us want that to happen. Take them out in a controlled way, test them, and actually measure what's actually going on.